Hello there, beautiful people. Filipinas here, and welcome back to my channel, everyone. So for today's video, we are going to be talking a very sensitive and controversial topic here in the Philippines. So have you ever wondered why the Philippines is really poor and only have a very low standard of living? Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to talk about that, but I just want to let you know that I am not degrading or devalue my home country, but only mainly to let you know the real reasons behind of why the Philippines is facing poverty over and over again. Like it's forever. As you guys all know, Philippines is a developing country, right? Although most of us Filipinos don't see or even feel that any developments in this country. So in this video, again, I will just talk about the several factors of why Philippines is poor. And the first reason is obviously corruption. Well, I believe that the Philippines as a country itself is technically not poor, okay? Because I also believe that we are very rich in people and the natural resources that we have here. And actually, both of these are the requirements to create a more developing economy here in the Philippines. It's just that I guess the Filipino people have become very poor simply because of the corruption here in the Philippines. Unfortunately, some politicians leaches money that should be distributed to continue to develop the economy here in the Philippines, and the money should put it in the hands of a few hundreds of Filipino families who actually continue to rule the country, to work very hard for the country. And yeah, unfortunately, because of the corruption, businessmen or businesswomen don't want to invest in the economy here in the Philippines, which unfortunately has led to fewer jobs, opportunities, or relative to other developing economies here in the Philippines. Because of corruption, foreign investors do not have trust or any confidence anymore to deploy any capital investment in our country here in the Philippines to create even more jobs. And it's just so sad to know about that. And yeah, I also believe that because of corruption, Filipino people do not want to work very hard anymore, especially when they can see or sense that there is unfair system here in the Philippines against them. So yeah, it's just so bad. Let's just accept the fact that corruption is the root of evil, the root of poverty here in the Philippines. Well, not just in the Philippines, I believe also in other different countries. So yeah, corruption just sucks, guys. Corruption in the Philippines remains legendary by international standards. And even elected officials are especially corrupt, guys, especially corrupt. And political corruption alone is enough to lower the Filipino self-perception. Well, I am not trying to say that all politicians are corrupt, but what I'm just trying to say is some politicians out there actually steal money from their subordinates. That's why nothing here gets done. Actually, it's just all talk, promises, but nothing ever gets done. And even the contractors, they do the projects through bribery and corruption. So yeah, it's so bad. And you know what, it's so funny because the quality of work here is very sloppish, and it's obvious that the funds allocated were not fully used on the project, on the school project, on the healthcare project, on the other certain projects here in the Philippines that could help the country very successful and very developing. But you know what, guys? What makes me very sad is, despite knowing the fact that there are still so many corrupt politicians out there, but the Filipino people still do not learn from their mistake, because they have already elected and they have already voted to corrupt politicians, but then the next election they still do vote that corrupt politician just because they do vote buying. And it's just very sad because they accept money or a bribery from the corrupt politician, but then they sacrifice that little amount of money for the 6 years of serving the country to have the country very successful. So it's just very sad. And I just really hope though that to those Filipino who's able to like vote and during elections, I just really hope that you guys will be very wise when it comes to voting. And I just really hope as well that you will not vote a corrupt, stupid politician anymore, because for sure that's one of the several factors of why we are so facing a lot of poverty right now, especially during this pandemic. So, why not like be wise with our decision and invest to the right person, to the right politician who is very deserving to serve the country and who we can really feel that can have or can help us have this country, the Philippines, to be very successful, fast growing country in Southeast Asia. Okay, so the next reason is poor education and lack of opportunities. Okay, this is actually true, guys, because some Filipino parents here in the Philippines care very little about their kids' education. And for them, it's just simply not a priority for some of them, unfortunately. And also, many Filipinos do not even finish high school due to financial difficulties, even though the public school is actually free for them to do that. And here in the Philippines as well, guys, if you don't have a degree, a college degree, a college diploma, then you cannot really like find a decent job. The problem also here is having too many kids. Because the public school is free here in the Philippines, guys, but they still need money for any kind of school project. So even though there are some certain places here in the Philippines that actually offers free education, but some Filipino family or parents do not want to have their children still attend school because they know that even if it's free, they will still cover or pay for the other expenses like like school projects, the foods, their allowance, like every day going back and forth from the school, going to their home. So yeah, they have that kind of mentality that they would just prefer to have their kids work at a very young age. And that's why there's a lot of Filipinas, especially in the province area, travel in the city just to find a job. And also, if you are a Filipino parent who is earning less than 250 pesos daily and you have like 7 kids, so you will think that you have no more money left for any other expenses, for other school expenses. So the Filipino parents, they will just choose the smarter kid or the smarter child in the family to proceed and continue education because they think that smarter kids can help them escape poverty once that kid is able to like finish college. Again, as what I've mentioned earlier, that the kid who is smarter in the family continues to study and the rest of the family members actually stop to make their way for the smarter kids, and then all the members pin their hope on the smarter child because for them there's really not enough money to go around to support financially for all 7 kids to go to school. So prioritize or not, financial difficulties force them to stop studying. So that is just like a sad reality here in the Philippines because they have this kind of mentality, this kind of mindset that okay, since you are the smartest in the family, I want you to continue studying. I'm gonna invest in you, and then the rest of your siblings will just stay here or will find another work to support you as well. The next reason is the lack of self-enrichment. Okay, because despite the increasing availability of internet to more and more Filipinos here, it's just that unfortunately some of them just waste their free and potentially bountiful opportunity just because they are doing nothing useful or very helpful. Because, instead of like using the internet to learn something very useful, like improving their English, communication skills, learn how to code, read biographies, like avail free online courses, learn technical skills, and many more. It's just that a lot of them use it for browsing empty self gratification or watching porn, and then wasting time on social media, spending hours reading nonsense on Facebook and any social medias like sleazy blogs, creative forums, and stuff like that. Unfortunately, many Filipinos do not feel the need to like further improve themselves over time. So yeah, for me, I guess self-pity makes us very poor because we brood and do not think of solutions or do not think about our future just because we are just wanting to like settle for less that we have right now in the present moment. So I think that's one of the reasons why Philippines is poor. And I do believe, guys, that it's not just because of the government or the corrupt government, okay? So I know it's one of the very main reasons of why Philippines is poor, but of course, I don't want to like blame all the political stuff because I know for a fact that it's not their fault as well. I know that there's also a lot of Filipinos out there who have this kind of mentality, toxic mindset that no, they self-pity themselves because they feel like they cannot seem to like have a good future. So yeah, it's just really bad to think about that. Okay, so the next reason is many Filipinos do not work because they are lazy. Okay, so here in the Philippines, there's always a breadwinner in every family. And everyone actually financially depends on that person. And yeah, it's very common here in the Philippines that the Filipino mother will work and support her unemployed, useless, and stupid husband. Well, I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth. But yeah, to support as well her younger kids' education and her oldest kid family. So I actually call that beast of burdens. So no wonder, guys, why carabaos are our national animal here in the Philippines is because there's a lot of lazy Filipino. I mean, there are so many Filipinos out there who is actually physically fit, a big body, a lot of muscles and stuff like that, showing off their abs, showing off their muscles, but they are so lazy. I mean, you are damn useless even if you have a nice body, even if you have a bigger body, but if you don't work, like, I mean, you don't necessarily have to like have a very very nice job in a corporate job, become a lawyer, doctor, stuff like that, but the fact that you have a great body, you have a big body, but you don't work, you're just sleeping all day in your house, depending on your mother, depending on your wife, it's so useless. It's so freaking useless. And I think that's one of the reasons why Philippines is very poor because they're responsible who are very lazy. Okay, so the next reason is because of toxic mindset and attitude. You know what, guys? I realized that most Filipinos rarely make a long-term goals. Some of them just actually live in the present and the past and actually never plan for the future. In fact, guys, honestly, a lot of Filipinos do not even have like a bank account or savings, and they do not engage in continuing education, and they are very like addicted in applying for any kinds of loans, and also some of them repeatedly elect stupid and corrupt politicians. So, well, it's just my own opinion though, because for me, Filipino attitude and this kind of mindset, like not planning future or investing in themselves, is actually one of the reasons why makes us poor. Because instead of like investing or saving money, they use all the money, especially the family breadwinner guys. They financially support themselves to the point that they don't have much money left for themselves. And that is just so bad here in the Philippines. Because instead of like helping each other, lifting up each other, they are just like depending on one person. Like, okay, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna wait for you to give me money, and because you are the family breadwinner, then you do your job, do your responsibility, and I just sit pretty here and I wait for you to send me money or for you to give me money. That's the toxic mentality here in the Philippines. The last but not the least, one of the reasons why Philippines is a very poor country and there's a lot of poor Filipino family or people here is because of poor self-perception. Okay, so you know what? Some Filipino here view themselves in ordinary as poor Filipino, uneducated, rustic, and unrefined. And unfortunately, to tell you guys, a lot of us hate and don't want anything to do with the government anymore because again it's corrupt. So yeah, it's just so bad. And so many people tend not to avoid any government services that will actually help them or actually not help them at all. So, you know, it's just so bad because we think of our generation as very hopeless, which only drives us down because we tend to not search for any solutions to everyday problems that we are facing. But unfortunately, some of the Filipino parents or some of the Filipino families passes this kind of mentality to their children. And that's the reason why their children have that mindset as well that okay, so if we're not gonna reach, then I'm just like gonna sit here because even if we're going to work hard and harder and harder, we will not be rich at all. So they passes that kind of mentality to their children. So yes, that's it everyone. I already mentioned to you guys the several factors or few of the many reasons of why Filipino are very poor and why Philippines has a low standard of living here is because again of those specific reasons that I just mentioned earlier. But again, I just really hope that you will not take any offense of this because I'm just trying to like express my own opinion and what I see, observe here in the Philippines. But yeah, anyway, if you guys really like my content and if you find it very enjoyable, please do not forget to subscribe, click the like button, and click the notification bell for more videos update. Bye bye.